The construct, it's incredible. It's large, it's massive.
Wow.
For over 200 years, Oak Island has been a graveyard for dreams and fortunes. But that's over. A hidden chamber has finally been breached, and what's inside isn't just treasure, it's a rewrite of history. We're talking about a structure so old, so complex, it defies explanation.
It's approximately 16 feet, but as we get into the center circle, it's more like 13 feet in through there.
There you go.
The team on the island didn't just find gold or jewels, they found a message, sealed away for centuries, protected by a network of devious traps.
But the key piece of data is yet to come. We're all keenly interested in the dendral results on the question mark shaft, and that could lead us, well, could lead us just about anywhere.
The thing nobody tells you is that this discovery isn't the end of the mystery, it's the terrifying beginning of a much larger one. A door made of stone. Even among all their previous discoveries, the Spanish coins, the medieval cross, the ancient wood platforms, this one has Rick and Marty Lagina on edge. Years of digging, drilling, and soul-crushing disappointment have turned them into cautious men. But this discovery is lighting a fire. Rick sees a map forming in his mind connecting every strange artifact they've ever found into one grand, chilling design. Marty, always the pragmatist, is focused on the construction itself. The reinforced wood, the layers of stone. Whoever built this wasn't hiding junk. They were protecting something that mattered on a global scale.
If there is a Portuguese connection to the construction of the road in the swamp, maybe this is the blueprint.
That's the part that has everyone holding their breath. Because this isn't some random accident of history. Someone built this deliberately, skillfully, and most unnerving of all, they built it to last forever. The breakthrough happened near the eastern side of the swamp, a location often dismissed by past teams as irrelevant. But the Laginas never trusted dismissals. They've long believed the island is one big misdirection, a massive web of tunnels designed to confuse and frustrate. And that's why this find is so different. It wasn't found by chance, it was revealed by technology. Advanced radar imaging provided a blueprint, a layout, a beginning. Then came the drilling. They sunk small access points from above, carefully angled and braced to avoid a catastrophic collapse. When the probe camera was finally lowered in, the footage confirmed the impossible. Solid walls, layered stone, and timber beams untouched by water. This structure wasn't just old, it was perfectly preserved. 50 years ago, no one would have believed it, but now the tech doesn't lie. Drills hummed to life, earth was displaced. Layer by layer, the past was peeled away. Wooden beams emerged, unbroken, stones stacked by hand, impossibly precise. Then, after nearly 80 feet of vertical descent and a sharp turn toward the west, they hit something solid.
What we've seen here is a vision that was not inspired, but instructed by knowledge from the past.
Not bedrock, not debris, but a wall. And to put it mildly, this was no ordinary wall. It was smooth, too smooth, made from a type of granite flecked with dark mineral veins not native to the region. Embedded at perfect intervals were iron rivets, hand-forged and rusted with centuries of time. This wasn't nature. This wasn't a coincidence. This was architecture. They had reached the outer face of the chamber. And then, something impossible happened. A low vibration started, soft at first, but it grew. The ground itself seemed to hum. One of the sensors buried along the surface went dark. Another flickered erratically. Pressure spiked along the southern ridge of the dig zone. The team froze. Monitors screamed data. Something was moving beneath them, around them. For the first time, the island didn't just feel ancient, it felt alive. They knew they had to keep going. A web of traps. It started with a tunnel. Now it's a web. What was first thought to be a single pathway through Oak Island's belly has expanded into something far more complex. Radar sweeps and probe cameras are revealing connections. Branches splitting from the main shaft, angling off in calculated directions. Some slope downward, others curve like a labyrinth. This isn't just a tunnel, it's a system, a designed, buried, engineered network. And the thing nobody tells you is, it didn't happen by accident. Rick and Marty Lagina weren't the first to theorize about an underground grid, but until now, it was just that, a theory. Many people are crazy about these ideas, but without proof, it's just talk. That changes now. As the team maps the newly discovered structure, strange patterns begin to emerge. Parallel routes, perfect right angles, repeated measurements. These aren't natural formations, they're architectural. And worse, they look intentional, like something meant to hide or protect a route, not just create one. That's when the old whispers begin again, the Templar theory.
The hope is that there'll be a part of the system that Alberto can directly connect to possibly Templars, or possibly to a belief system that is associated with the artifacts that we have found on the island.
For decades, Oak Island has been linked to the Knights Templar, a secretive order rumored to have fled Europe with unimaginable treasure. Historical evidence has tied their movements to the Atlantic. Old maps, coded manuscripts, and even French relics found on the island have pointed again and again to Nova Scotia. Skeptics laugh. Historians hesitate. But now, faced with a precise, multi-tunnel system built deep beneath the earth, nobody's laughing. This is where the trapdoor theory comes into play. It's been whispered about for decades. Somewhere beneath Oak Island sits a false floor, possibly above the main treasure chamber, possibly above nothing at all. Step wrong, dig wrong, drill wrong, and everything disappears in an instant. Think about that for a second. You reach the final layer, and instead of uncovering history, you unleash destruction. A design so elegant, so cruel, it turns the entire island into a self-defending vault. And remote imaging now shows something that backs it up. 2 distinct levels of flooring within the suspected chamber zone. That's not how natural voids behave. The sonar detected dense material over a hollow space, and directly beneath that, an uneven cavity. A secondary pocket. Could it be a false floor? Nobody wants to be the one to find out the hard way. The team stopped excavation immediately. Instead, they sent in ground-penetrating sonar from multiple angles. What came back was even more chilling. Metal. Not large, not modern, but present, buried beneath layers of soil in precise spots near the suspected chamber walls. Possibly hinges, possibly supports, definitely not random. This changes everything, because if the trapdoor theory is true, this structure was never meant to be entered at all. It was meant to collapse, not by erosion, not by time, but by design. And that design might just be winning. It wouldn't be the first time Oak Island fought back. Since the late 1700s, every major dig has hit a devastating obstacle. Collapsed shafts, sudden floods that fill a pit with seawater in minutes, even vanishing artifacts. It's like the island wants to be left alone. But the most shocking fact is that the clues were always there. Above ground, the team is racing against the weather. But one discovery connects directly to this network of traps. Near the swamp, they uncovered a stone pathway, flat and patterned, embedded into the mud like an ancient road. Some claimed it was natural, but then Gary Drayton's metal detector located iron signals buried just beneath the path. What if it wasn't a road to walk on, but a cover for the mechanisms below? The island is a fortress. A trail of breadcrumbs. While the team grappled with the chamber's defenses, the rest of the island started giving up its own secrets, creating a bigger, more confusing picture. And you can see this everywhere. Every find, no matter how small, points back to the same chilling conclusion. Someone with immense resources was here a very, very long time ago. On Lot 5, a part of the island that had been a mystery for years, Gary Drayton's detector screamed. What he pulled from the dirt was a hammered bronze coin, 500 years old.
Look at that! Look at the patina on that. Oh my God, my hands are shaking, mate.
Turn it over.
That's a cut coin by the look of it. Yeah.
The thing is, hammered currency was replaced by machine coinage in Europe around the 15th century. This coin was an ancient piece of history long before the money pit was supposedly dug. But that wasn't even the oldest find. Later, the team unearthed another coin, this one copper, with suspected Roman or Byzantine roots. An expert analyzed it and dated it to sometime between 300 BC and 600 AD. Let that sink in. A 2,000-year-old Roman coin on a tiny island off the coast of North America. They even found it had a silver and arsenic content that proved it was made before the year 1500. This discovery completely upended the timeline of who could have been here and when. It connects to another find. a cobblestone road in the swamp that is an exact match to ancient Roman roads discovered in Portugal, a known stronghold of the Knights Templar. The puzzle pieces were getting older and stranger. Then came the horseshoe. In the swamp near the stone pathway, the team found a small, handcrafted horseshoe. An expert confirmed it was from the early 15th century, that's the 1400s, a 600-year-old horseshoe. The expert was stunned, stating it was likely the oldest metal artifact ever found in the swamp, even older than the Roman coin.
I can say safely it's the oldest horseshoe I've seen so far.
The plot thickens.
And it's not consistent all the way around, so it's an old handmade shoe. I would go back to the 1400s.
It suggests a horse arrived on Oak Island on a massive sailing vessel centuries before the official story begins. Many people are crazy about these theories, but now they had physical evidence. A horse, a Roman presence, and a 500-year-old coin. Who was here? The clues weren't just metal. Researchers uncovered stone carvings with strange symbols, a circle and a dot in the center of a cross. These exact same carvings were found in 12th century Templar strongholds in Portugal. Even more bizarre was the goose paw carving, a symbol used by stonemasons who worked for the Templars. It was a sign left behind to show they were present on the island. And to put it mildly, this wasn't just a random squiggle, it was a calling card from one of history's most secretive organizations. From a 2,000-year-old Roman coin to a 600-year-old horseshoe and Templar symbols, the island was screaming its history. These weren't just scattered finds, they were a trail. What lies within? This is no longer just a dig, it's a reckoning. After the granite wall vibrated, the team pulled back. But instead of chaos, what came next was a deafening silence. And then, access. A portion of the wall, once seamless, began to erode. The ancient iron rivets, unstable with age, collapsed inward, taking a section of the granite face with them. A dark, gaping hole appeared. The team peered inside, first with cameras on long cables, then with their own eyes. What they saw defied belief. The chamber was real, and it was untouched. It was roughly 20 by 30 feet with a domed ceiling reinforced with massive timber beams darkened by time. The walls were lined with alcoves, perfectly carved and measured, each filled with artifacts. But not what you'd expect.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
Oh,
Right there. Hey, Rick. Check this out.
that's cool.
We have seen this symbol before,
HO stone.
Yeah.
and that's a direct tie to Oak Island.
There was no mountain of gold, no chests overflowing with jewels. What they found was far stranger and infinitely more valuable. There were scroll tubes sealed with wax, dozens of them. Wood chests bound in heavy iron, too heavy to have been carried by a small crew. There were cloth-covered bundles that crackled with age as the light from the cameras touched them. And in the dead center of the room stood a single stone pedestal. Upon it sat something square, encased in what looked like thick, primitive glass. The camera zoomed in. It was a manuscript. The pages were too faded to read, the binding too fragile to even think about moving, but it was clearly ancient. Beside it lay a metal object, intricate and ceremonial in shape. It resembled a cross, but it wasn't Christian. The design was older, more obscure, with symbols that looked possibly Phoenician or North African. The implications are staggering. This find suggests a pre-Columbian presence in North America with advanced knowledge and a secret to protect. Rick stood over the monitor in stunned silence. Marty paced, hands clenched. This wasn't pirate treasure. This was a library of lost history, a time capsule. But what now? They've done it. They found the chamber. They've laid eyes on what no one else has. But opening it fully could mean catastrophic damage. Moving the artifacts could cause them to disintegrate into dust. Worse, it could destabilize the chamber entirely, bringing the whole thing down. Are we missing a key detail here? The thing is, the team believes this discovery is so important that they can't risk it. For now, they've sealed the entrance. They are bringing in world-renowned archaeologists and preservation experts to plan the next step. Because what's inside that room doesn't just belong to them, it belongs to the world. And what it reveals could change everything we thought we knew about our own past. They found the chamber, but the real mystery is just beginning. What secrets does that manuscript hold, and who went to such incredible lengths to hide it? Is this the work of the Templars or something far, far older? Let us know your theories in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more answers.